Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to show you how to get a minivan firmware that supports both the indicator lights and also advanced QMK features. In case you don't know what the indicator lights are, let me show you this. If I hold certain keys, I trigger certain layers, and the indicator lights will show them. This one and this one. So in these cases, the indicator lights are not that useful because there's nothing confusing. But for this key, if I press it, it turns on a layer. If I press it again, it turns off that layer. So for that layer, it's useful to know whether the layer is on or not. So indicator lights will be useful. Okay, now you know what it is. Okay, so by the way, this keyboard uses the Minivan hot swap PCB with 3 indicator lights. There's another one called a catch, maybe. That one has 10 indicator lights. Okay. So the most straightforward way or most conceptually clean way to do this is to write some QMK source code to control the lights. Unfortunately, I don't know how to do that. So the path I take is to get those light support from the Trashman's QMK configurator and then modify on top of that. Okay, if you use this minivan related stuff, you are probably familiar with this website. And you can choose what keyboard you are using. This is the other one with indicator lights. Okay, let me go back to my minivan. Okay, here. Okay, so you can see here it's very easy to modify the indicator lights. You can choose the color. You can choose what kind of event triggers that light. It is also pretty easy to define the overall key maps. Unfortunately, you cannot define the advanced QMK features like auto shift, combo, tap dance, etc. Also, it doesn't even support some basic ones. For example, one shot shift, things like that. Okay, anyways, what you can do is you just set your key maps with the indicator lights support. You say build firmware. It will generate a .hex file, and then you can use the QMK toolbox to flash that firmware. It's a .hex file. So usually what I do is here you will get a random name. I will rename it into a fixed name and then do the auto flash. So when this firmware has been renamed, I just do the reset key from my keyboard. So it automatically refresh. Okay, so after you get this hex file, you also press this .zip. So what happens now is it will download a zip file which contains these source codes. Then we will modify this source code in the QMK firmware, the real QMK code. The problem is that this Trashman source code, they were compiled using some old version of the QMK, which doesn't work for the current one. So you need to first clean them up. Okay. Anyways, so after you get those files, first create a new folder in the QMK source code. So this is the QMK source code. So I created that keyboards, the van keyboards, minivan key maps, not NOS. And you can see these are the files. It has some random name for the .c and .h. It has rules.mk key map.c. This is the real key mapping and some configuration file. Okay, if you do that, and if you say make the van keyboards minivan, comma NOS, it won't work. It will give you a lot of errors. Then you need to fix that. So here I will show you all the fixes. They are all cosmetic, so it's pretty easy to do. So for example, some of them has extra and if lines. And then the next one is in the config.h file. The old convention is to define these macros for this file, but the new way is to use pragma. And also, I don't know why, but it complains the product ID, device version have been redefined, so I just undefined them. There's also some issues with these two macros. I just deleted them. Okay, so I think the rest of the issues are all related to the latest QMK renamed some of the key codes. For example, it used to be called L shift. Now it's called LSFT. I think they use 4-letter codes for all the keys now. Okay, yeah, here L shift X L shift becomes X LSFT. Same here. I think here the issue is I have one key for reset. Now reset is called QK boot. Okay, that's all the differences. Okay. So after that, you can just do this make. Hopefully it should work. And then I will, and you can see it works, and it saves it into this file. The van keyboards minivan nos.hex. Then I will rename it into another fixed name, which is used here, and then I just reset it, and then fresh the firmware. Okay, now we just confirmed that this firmware works. We only updated this firmware to work with the latest QMK. Okay, now we are in a position to edit advanced features. So you will be enabling them in these two files. For example, auto shift combo, auto shift combo. I don't really use tap downs, but you will also set it here if you use that. Okay, and also in the key maps, you will define those combos. Okay, after that, hopefully everything works. You can compile it again and then fresh the firmware. Okay, then after that, I was thinking maybe we can do the while support. I tried to do that. The online instruction is very straightforward, but then the problem is the firmware is too big for my chip. I did some Google about how to reduce the size, but so far it's still too big. So maybe this is for another day. Okay, that's all I want to cover for today. Hopefully it's something useful. Thanks for watching.